stuff for you.
And who are you, ma'am?
Oh, my name's Dee Dee, I'm just taking minutes.
Okay.
I don't live in the city, I don't have anything to do with anybody else here, just.
Are you writing the minutes?
I have a question, this proposal that you're gonna have, are we gonna see this or get a copy of it to review, or
It'll be on the ballot,
when is that gonna be?
Next April.
next April.
Next April?
And last, have you heard anything new?
There's a way that we may be able to do it in August for a special election, it's $1,500. It's whether I can pay for it or not. The second thing is November, that you could do it in the November election.
Yeah, it's not gonna be this coming out.
No.
No,
I understand there was to be 2 town hall meetings before that for everybody to come.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we're waiting for who again now?
Well, he's here, so we're just waiting for our aldermen to get done doing their packets and we'll start the meeting. Can I give you time?
7-7.
7:07?
7-7.
Dee, will you do roll call, please?
All right, this is from the sign-in sheet. Teresa Ritchie, Daryl Wilson, Patrick Ellison, Sharon Priest, Mars Priest, Justin Messer, Clint Hodson, Shannon Wedge, Carolyn Bailey, Echo Valdez, Jill Kidwell, Mark Carey, Shelley Jolly, Bree Johnson, Paul Myers, Jonathan Wedge, Jeff Glines, and I can't read the last name, Norm
Cars.
Carr, okay.
Ms. Mann,
Yes,
here.
here.
Mr. Priest. Ms. Wilson, here. Alright. We're gonna have 2 parts of tonight's meeting. The first part is going to be, with Mr. Barnhart, so he can give us updates on everything, and then, we'll adjourn that, and then we'll get to the second half of the meeting, which is just our normal, March meeting. So, Mr. Barnhart, it's all yours.
All right.
Sorry, that's what I
You love it. You-
You're okay.
Yeah, there's more chairs for you guys. We'll sit in the rest.
Okay.
Do we have anything newer than 17?
Okay, for the water and sewer report, we took the bacteriological sample, last week, and it came back good. So all things are safe on that part of it. We did up the chlorine ratio. We upped it a little bit. We did the residual, 0.05 is your minimum you can have in any part of the system, and we had a couple places that were 0.05, 0.04, so we upped it a little bit to get the residual up. Did that. Grinder pumps. Grinder pumps are a nightmare for everyone, for every system that I have, it's the same way. We found 3 overflowing in the town. They've been overflowing for a little bit. So those 3 were pulled and replaced. The pumps that they were replaced with are industrial sewer pumps now. So we hope that we won't be doing that for a while. Normally those will last us 3 to 5 years. It really depends on if nobody uses flushable wipes. Whoever used the word flushable, you guys remember me saying that, I tell it to everybody every time I see anybody. A flushable wipe is not flushable. When it hits a grinder, it locks up in it, and we fight them all the time. We fight them down at the sewer plant, they're here, they're at the grinder pumps, and they burn bearings up and tear pumps up. That's exactly what they're good for. They get stuck on the bar screen and overflow. So, we replaced the three grinder pumps, got that done. At the sewer plant, the plant's full of sludge, however way you want to phrase it. We pumped some, went and had Hillbilly come in and pump some, but then we also had a company to to get a better price, we went with a company, Springfield, and pumped out of the first cell. The plant's 7 foot deep, and when we sludged it, there's 4 foot. So you have about 3 foot of water to work with. Well, if you guys can see what the rain, you know what the rain did the last couple weeks. We had to report, overflow to DNR. The plant couldn't handle it. So, got some pumping in. DNR said, okay, thanks for telling us, I'll fix it. So, we went up to the media beds, pulled the remaining of the weeds. The beds, the flow rates on the beds are way down from what they should be. A lot of that is that there was valves put in there when they were new, that you would be able to jet out they're gone now. Somebody's cut them out and put in just a salty pipe because they went bad. Now we're gonna have to cut them all back out and put them back in, because you gotta be able to jet it, it's plugged. So we actually raised one of the beds up, if you've been up there, looks like gravel, brown gravel. Raised them up in the concrete barrier and, what do they call it? They call it flushing the media bed, because they create head pressure on the plant and push it out. One of the things we did find is the outflow. The plant's made to do an 80-20, and the 80 called a recirculating plant, supposed to come back into the plant. Somebody had made up a little plate that goes in it and was kicking 80% out to the creek, to Spring River. We did notify DNR that we found it, and we notified them that it had happened. And, so we fixed it. We took out that plate, discarded it, put it in the parking lot.
So where should we fish in spring?
You're good now. You're good now. The dilution, I mean, it rained a bunch, so it all went all the way back.
Good.
So
It's in Oklahoma.
we fixed that, yeah, Kansas. That's Kansas. So we did fix it. That was the first day we were here, so it's been a while. The other thing we did is the UV lights. As of April 1st, we have to be running UV. That's statewide. Every plant that has one has to be UV lights. This section or pouring on the sewer plant. Here it has UV lights. They're up and they're running. So we're legal again. Pretty much all we did for the first 2 weeks was run around and hook everything back up. So the flows, the monitor, the high flow will notify you, the low flow, all that good stuff. A lot of the stuff that was in the report from DNR, which is public knowledge, you can go on the DNR website and get it. When they did the inspection last time, it was what the stuff they're trying to fix, trying to keep DNR off of us. DNR did call me today and wanted to know what the sample was, because they haven't had a sample since January. So they gave him the result, gave him the number, all that good stuff. On the water, some people may notice, I mentioned it last time, the piping in the well house at Alba, the well we sell at Alba is bad. Okay, they do not inject any kind of disinfectant to the water to Alba. We do here. And that injection point, well, I took it out and cleaned it, but it needs to be replaced, but I can't replace it in fear that it'll break the piping in the building. It'll be a $15,000 hit. Probably by the time.
Say that again, between Alba and what?
Alba and Purcell share a well.
Correct.
Alba does not have an injection point for chlorine, but Purcell does.
Correct.
And that point, that deal, the piping in that building has become very deteriorated. And Alba wants to replace it. They want to do half and half, the split. It needs to be done now. Because I cleaned the injection point, but I can't replace it where it needs to be replaced because I'm in fear that it'll pop a hole in it and it will all be done for a while. That's one of those projects you gotta plan all the stuff put together before you start tearing yourself apart. So we'll be working with Alba to find out when they want to do it, and that's gonna be a cost that, if he thought 15,000, I wanna see estimates. Maybe we want, I don't mind, it's fine sharing the well with Alba, not a problem with it, but I gotta have estimates. I gotta know that it's the right way, it's the good stuff, so I don't wanna replace it. Another thing that I highly recommend is a dehumidifier in that well house. As it gets hot, we all know what cold water does. When it gets hot, the piping, a lot of condensation in the building, you can tell the building's had a lot of water in it. And the piping's rusted out. So, that needs to be done.
set that with us, is that what you're saying?
That is the current agreement that you have,
Oh, okay.
that they will, the cost will be 50/50.
We need to find out, Matt, we do pay $200 every month for maintenance, so we need to find out, I can stop by tomorrow
If they have
and
this
ask
in
them
there.
and see how much the total is.
Yeah, they won't give it to me, they'll give it to you guys, but they won't give it to
Okay.
You should be getting a deal every month, tell me how much money you got in it.
Yeah, it doesn't tell us on the, I've got it, and it doesn't tell us, Bud and I was talking about it today, so we'll go down tomorrow and get it.
Okay, on the billing process. So, we initially thought that we could put everybody in Purcell into our system with the regulated side of it, and the auditors come back and said, no, you don't own it. So, since you're under a state audit, the monies, I'm still gonna do the billing. We set up the post office box in Purcell. The bills will go there. They'll be collected by us, Missouri American. We'll process the billing, the payments and all that stuff, but the deposit has to go into the city of Purcell. Those bills can be, then you can pay Liberty, you can pay the 200 for the well maintenance, and then you pay us our portion of it for what we've done. Now, ours is a contract price, it's not near gonna cover, as you say, what I'm telling you, these three, just the three grinders was close to, well, 3,009, I mean, that's $11,000. So, that's not gonna cover the cost, but we're, like in the deal, we said we add it up, and if it goes through, we eat it, if not, then you can pay us back and we'll go home. Adjust the pumps, that's the other thing that we did, we put the pumps back on, flow control. Now, when it rained all that time, they ran all the time anyway, but as what we're doing, instead of doing the 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, no matter what, we're now doing it by flow control. So if it needs 4 pumps, it gets 4 pumps, if it needs 6, it gets 6. So we're hoping the electric bill will go down, that's our hope. We got most of that done today, so we won't see it for a while. 1 2-inch main break, we did fix the main break. The other thing is, if I can't find anything, does anybody know, you guys know what I do, about flushing the hydrants? Is anybody done the hydrant flush program this year?
I think Jonathan done one and it took out a road, didn't it? Like the big
Oh,
road.
I've flushed every hydrant that
That
was
works.
working at least once over the 5 months.
Okay.
And a couple of them more than that, but I did, everyone that we knew was still working, I did flush at least once.
Was the rumor true about the black paint, if it had black paint on it, did they not work? Cause I know we read that in past minutes, that.
I didn't
Fire
check.
department issue, a black hydrant does not work.
Yeah, if they,
Doesn't mean it won't flow a little water, but it does not
Yeah.
work for our purposes.
I didn't even mess, if they had a black paint on them, I didn't even mess with them.
So just
Now, didn't the
flush
fire,
it.
didn't the fire department go through and,
We test them, but we don't flush them.
no, but didn't you guys like put a paint on them or?
Yes, they're color coded for our purpose.
Right.
So we know how many gallons per minute that hydrant will put out.
Right. When you was talking about the paint, I knew you guys had some color coding for some.
That's why we run tankers and shows. You see us run 4 trucks through, that's why.
That's why.
If we get a structure fire in city, any city, Alva, Purcell, next city, it doesn't matter. We don't rely on hydrants.
Yeah,
That's a weird one. Okay, so we don't have a list of the ones that don't work or anything, do we?
We can get you one.
That'll work. That'll work.
We got one.
Thank you.
I was gonna say fire department.
So you haul the tanker in?
What's-
You use the tanker?
Yes, we do what's called water solo.
How many tankers
by
do you
truck.
have?
We have currently got 3.
I know I thought we had 2, okay.
Yeah, we've currently got
So I can
3.
burn everything down.
They're ready for this.
The billing, like I said, on the billing program, we'll have it mailed to the PO box, collected, do the deal, and we'll make sure that we get it accurate. I know it's gonna be messed up, from.
Is the trash bill still gonna be on there?
No, it's not, and we'll get to that on the second part of the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't bill for
Okay.
trash, yeah.
I know they're wanting to be paid.
Yeah.
Something, I mean, this first go around until we get if you guys elect us to take it over, it'll change, it's a lot more user friendly. Then it goes into our system that everybody else, the other 2 million customers in Missouri goes into. And you have online where you can go in and access it, you can pay the bill at different locations, or you can pay for it. This is only for temporary now, and it had to be set up through the auditors to make my guy happy, and then make the state auditor happy and say, okay, this is a process that everybody's gonna change. After we take over ownership, then we can take the money in. They don't have a problem with that, and then we pay out the bills.
There's a lot of people here that wasn't here at your other meeting, and he did tell us that they don't require a water deposit. Isn't that true?
Yeah, we don't have a water bill.
So if they do take it over, we'll probably get a deposit back.
And I'll make sure they have all those records and stuff. And it will be no more dropping off payments, so when you get your new bill from them, it'll say where to send it to. It'll just be a box, so.
That way we have a little better control, make sure that the stuff's going into it. And then I'm gonna have a cell phone dedicated. You wouldn't believe this, but the cell phone company couldn't get it done today. They said they could, but they didn't. We're gonna have a dedicated a line for the billing for here. That'll change, like I said, in the future for the utility provider. It'll go to our 1-800 number, which goes to 200 people instead of just this one person. But we're all gonna try to take turns carrying it and make sure that it will be 100% manned. So the biggest thing for it will be for billing issues, is if somebody got something. Yes, sir.
Okay, water, what about the sewer?
Both.
They're good.
They're doing water and sewer, yeah.
How about garbage?
No.
We'll get to that on the second part of the meeting. They won't do trash, yeah, they won't do trash,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That'll make it, and the auditor likes that. They like that it's utilities on that side of it straight, and they wanted a separate account, so that way in and out. So far, you're gonna see also, I just wanted to tell everybody, I wish I would've got the last thing, I didn't know how fast the engineers and stuff would start moving. When you see like the other, I'm running around in an Equinox, when you see the other ones in an Equinox and stuff, and sometimes you're like, what the hell, are they working? They're engineers, so they're getting dates off stuff, getting to find out the pump curves and how much electricity that's coming in. We're huge on efficiency. So they're trying to automatically, even though we don't own it, they're already looking at stuff like the plant. We have a guy come down with a monitor and monitor how much electricity, from the flow rate versus the time. It's just what we do. It's also on some of the renovation. If we become the owners, some of the stuff's gonna change. It'll change because we're gonna have to invest in some of the lift stations. And I found one of your lift station motors over at JCI. They called me yesterday or Friday and wanted the motor. And I said, okay, well, where's the pump curves? And that's a lot of research that we need to do to make sure it's the right pump in there. That's not just sitting there burning energy, as you know how that can be. So on the meters, we found a couple that are dead already. So the guys had to switch them out. So if you see a new meter number, I'll try to make sure it's on the bill, but if not, just call and we'll explain what happened. Nancy's been giving me, credits and people that paid, so we're trying to keep all that. If we do screw up somehow, just call me. Let's fix it. It's not.
One question.
Yes, ma'am.
When you're doing the billing, do you have everyone's correct mailing addresses? That was an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got all the.
Find them, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's been a pain, but we finally.
The one thing I know not to do, and I found this out about a year ago, is do not go by the government's listing.
No.
Yeah.
Because people have their mailing address and they did have their physical address and their mailing address, and the government only has the mailing address or the physical address. And I'm sitting there going, well, no wonder how people don't get half their stuff. So I learned that. It was a valuable lesson. But that's the majority of it for me. If you see a lot of vehicles running around, it's not that we're trying to book time. I did get asked that. The gentleman, he's not here, I don't see him, but he asked me if we're trying to book a bunch of time against Purcell. No, that's not the intent, but there was a lot of stuff that had to be fixed that real quick so we could get DNR to start getting off of our backsides and showing that we're doing what we said we're gonna do. And those other guys are just doing a preliminary study to see what to do. Because if we do take over, it'll be a change. It'll be a change. The tank will be one of your big changes quick. And they're studying now whether to rehab that tank, leave that tank, put another tank in, do something. I mean, that's all that stuff's going on right now. So, yes, sir.
So you're doing all these wonderful things, so what will our water bill be, 100, 150, 200?
Well, our current bill, I mean, I can tell you what your current, you know your current bill today. Ours, we're a little cheaper on the water and probably $6, $7 higher on the sewer, is what it comes out to. That's what our system's like.
It'll be, it
But
won't
it'll
be
be
his
your
rates
rate.
until the
We have
buyout.
a bond going that's gonna be dead in off of us in 5 years.
Yeah. When they take over, they'll pay that off. If it goes through the ballot and it passes through the ballot, then they'll pay that off.
Okay, I'll save my question for the
Yeah,
next meeting.
yeah, until, I mean, we'll be still use that when they bill, they're still gonna be doing, the billing and the bond for per cell until the buyout, then they'll change it over to their rates.
I compared their water rates to some friends, several friends that are dying. Their water rates are okay. I mean, they're good.
Yeah, we have so many, right on the water side of it, we're lucky because we have so many people on it that investments are, they're controllable. You know, they have the 2% raises, stuff like that. The thing that our sewer went from 38 to 58. And we're doing good, but it's just like, and a lot of you don't know this, but as of March of next year, your sewer plant's out of compliance, so you have your bond on that's 5 years to be paid on. You're gonna need to borrow about another $150,000, $200,000. And not a lot of people know that. And the reason is because you have ammonia limits. And DNR, it's on your sheet, you have a sewer permit, and currently you have the generic ammonia limits. And as they renew, which yours is coming up next year in March, you'll get the new ammonia limits. You're out of compliance on ammonia. So ammonia, we'll have to put in aerators. We're looking at right now, what if we do it, it'll be, aerators or a plant beside the plant to do it. So the sewer part of it is what's killing everybody in the nation. I mean, it's high.
The government has a lot of money right now, they're handing out money like it's candy. So why don't we put our hand out?
We're under
To the
state audit, it
state.
stops us from getting,
Huh?
because we're underneath the state audit, it stops us from being able to do a lot of things.
Oh, because the state audit?
But before the state
That's-
audit, we were told we couldn't get grants and things because we faulted on some things or something, so we're not eligible.
There's not, what's bad is that people are seeing a lot of stimulus money, like the $1,400 checks and stuff like that. The water, and that's a good question to ask DNR for yourselves. I don't want you to say, well, Matt said, because I don't deal with that section of life at all. But, to get money to build plants and stuff seems to be an issue. You know, and that's why that's why we're being successful right now, because there's no money to borrow. So, I would say DNR is a good place to start. Yeah.
Well, in terms of this bond thing that we have going,
Yeah.
and since we're in default and other things, what the heck, let's just file bankruptcy.
We're not in default of our, bond.
Huh?
We're not in default of our bond at all.
It was some
No,
things.
let's just get rid of it anyway.
Yeah, it's some things that happened in the past, I guess, that they were talking about, but currently, everything's right with it.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Did you say that you guys do the sewer, like, for people that do the pool or something in the summer? Didn't you say you do like a winter average or something like that?
Our billing is, ours switched over, we have two ways, and we're in a rate case now, so this, they'll determine our rates because we don't, but they may come in and we do winter averaging on sewer, and it would have where you used it for the month of December, January, February, they think that people aren't watering and all this good stuff, so all the watering, or what your load is what the sewer load is. They did come back and say that they thought about just doing a flat rate and forget about all the water you use in the summertime it's not, you know, it's going, we're taking it that it's going out in your yard or down the road or whatever, so. That'll be interesting. But ours right now, they switched over to flat rate, and you just take it and you don't have to pay every month a different rate and all that.
Right.
We have a tower over here that's, isn't worth it.
No,
I mean, is there one, can we grant money from somebody?
yeah, I mean,
You're not the government.
No.
I mean, we need to get some money, you know, from the government.
I don't know anybody
That's
to
not
do it
us in
from.
trouble, we're not allowed to get grants or anything right now. I think that's what got us in this mess. A while ago, we weren't allowed to get grants or anything for a little bit.
Why are we, why is the town under audit, what's DNR?
I'm sorry, DNR, Department of Natural Resources.
Part of the natural resources.
They're the government entity that mandates water and sewer and conservation, well,
Okay.
water pollution, that's it, not conservation, water pollution is what they do.
Again, we just moved here, so I have no idea what's going on here, all I know is that apparently the town's in trouble.
I don't know, the odds,
We're getting our backsides beat by what, the government now? Okay.
It's a state audit, Mr. Wilson can explain it to you, he's actually the one that, it's a state audit that was done by petition of the people,
Okay,
so.
You had to have a certain amount of registered voters to sign the petition for an audit.
okay.
For this city, it took 64, and we had over 100 signatures. So the state had no choice but to do a state audit.
Okay, and the state audit is looking into what? Is there a particular thing that the state audit's looking into?
They're just looking into
Or
everything.
just do it, is it like is it the entire city's under investigation?
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
situation?
Yeah.
Is that, okay, so it's an investigation.
Yes.
So what do we pay for that?
We'll know when it's all over, it can go clear up to $95,000, and the city has to pay for
Let's
that.
call that
You
in
can't pay for it, the city can't, the city will have to pay for that.
I have a question.
City's too bankrupt.
I think that the total amount due, they'll base it at the end, right?
At the end of it.
And it could be lower than that.
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, that's just the high cap, but it's gonna take quite some time. They said they're looking at probably about 2 years,
So it's gonna take 2 years for them to complete their audit.
possibility.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, you said there's
No.
a bond on the sewer plant that'll go out next year?
It gets paid every year, it's already out there right now. The bond, they have, the city of Purcell has a sewer bond for the plant that they built, and it's being paid every month off of the payments that come in from the community.
Okay, well, we haven't received water bill in
You know,
like 2 months.
this is the kind of.
So, I
it's
don't
been an
know what's
influx.
going on with that,
It is coming, yeah.
That's kind of what has happened.
Yeah.
And that's
The
what's
state
happened.
audit won't stop the sale of the.
No,
but, well, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the state audit is gonna stop it.
no, not from their buyout, they already know about it.
They're real good with it. I get audited from them a lot, so.
Oh,
I'm
so
good.
you-
I'm good.
Audit after it. Okay, I got it.
I have a question.
We're state regulated, so the government has to regulate us.
Ms. Kelsey has a question.
So I want to know, how are we going to get people that need to switch over to you? Like, for instance, my parents own a rental property here, and I actually have like the form. So can I just give that to you so you know that it's changing hands and renters?
Yep, and we'll have the number that we'll post here, you can, that in the future, until we get if we are successful, then they just call the regular customer service, but for now, I'll have a cell phone number, hopefully tomorrow.
I have the forms when you leave. Can I just give it to
Just
you?
give it to me and I'll be done.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You said to contact you, you also said that you're arranging a cell phone just for our
For all
community
of
to
us,
contact you?
Yeah.
So, are we using that cell phone, you're gonna pass out the number, or is there a number to get to you that?
That'll be the Purcell number. The Purcell number goes to the office I'm at. And there's a lady that I've asked, and she lives in Alva. I've asked her to be the dedicated person for Missouri American Water, and she'll handle it. She handles the billing and issues for the city of Joplin right now. So she'll take over for Purcell and try to get this ironed out. But she'll have her cell phone.
It'll all be
I'll call her.
available on it now.
So we don't use the number on your card anymore?
If you need me, you can call that. but you can also call her number and she can say, hey, Matt here. So,
Which one of the numbers on your card do you want people to call you at? There's one that just says phone and one that's cell phone.
cell phone's fine. I mean, really, the biggest one that works best is probably to call her, because if she can handle it, she'll handle it first, and she's
Okay.
a lot faster than me. Because right now, I'm working with, we've got 2 elections we've got 2 town halls this week for elections for next week. So I'll be traveling a lot, but she's there. But if it's a question about ownership or stuff like that, then I need.
Well, it's most likely about that well thing and our property and those issues.
Maybe,
Okay,
just keep calling me.
okay.
One more question here. Right outside on the corner of the street there on our house, there's been like some overgrowth, it looks like a hole in the ground. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it looks like some sort of, I was told that it was some sort of water leak damage or something like that, and I have no idea.
Can you give me the address?
It's right down the corner of 402 South Quaker Street.
South Quaker?
Yeah, so, not 100% sure, but I was told, somebody told me at one point that they tried to repair it and it just busted again, and I'm guessing, they probably
It's
just.
across the alley from the Baptist church. That first street there, to the east.
I'm pretty sure they fixed that.
They've had it on there for
Yeah.
since we've been doing
They
it.
don't-
No, there's not water coming up.
No, there's not water there. When our kids are running, they're just can't run from that.
Yeah, that out, we should do it 3 years, and maybe, I see them too.
On that section right through there.
Okay, yep, we'll get her checked out and see what it is. I know that they found one line that's about off, that's broken in the middle of the intersection, so it's not getting two-way flow, it's only getting dead-end flow. And I don't know if that's where that is, but I'll find out.
I don't know.
Off of Vine, there's a break as well. It's been broken for years, and it's a constant leak. Justin,
Any idea the address?
what is the road that Dean's daughter lives on?
Earl.
No, I live on Earl, the one before Earl.
Short Street? maybe?
Short, yeah, it's right at the end. That road has been closed off by the city. So it's like a dead end, but if you go to the back side of that, it's right on top, and it's been broke for a long time, and it's never been addressed. I know when the contractor built that new house over there, they tried to hook up to it, and it blew air, and then there was a massive like water leak after that. So.
Okay, I may need help to find
Question I got, our water bills next month are gonna come from you.
that. They're reading this week.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So the price is just declining,
Yeah, there's a set rate.
isn't it? You got you shaking your head, no, that was.
There's a set ordinance,
It's
right?
just climbing.
Yeah,
What
it's,
usage?
yeah, ours, cause they have to go by our set ordinances right now until they take over.
So they're reading them this week, we can expect the new bill when?
Next week, we'll be putting the bills together, we should be
Where
getting.
can I make a payment now to get the correct amount? Because I don't live in the city for sale, and they bill me for sewer and sewer bond and trash pickup. I have my own septic, we pay for our own trash. I've tried since January to try to get this figured out. I actually got hung up on by somebody, and I've left many messages down here before the phone got cut off. And no one was returning calls. I want to get this paid and.
All right, we'll get it, I'll make sure that I get information from the city, and make sure that's.
So, the second question was, where can I get this, because this bill was mailed late. I got it a month late for the month of January, I got it towards the end of February. Now it's March, I still can't get, I've got my bill paid, and I see on Facebook all this stuff about everybody's gonna get cut off if they don't pay their bill. Well, I can't pay my bill if no one will correct the bill.
I got it corrected when at the house on the green.
Will the cell phone stay on, like, will you guys pay it currently, so that way it won't be cut off?
Yeah, it's in my office.
Sometimes that's an issue.
We'll have her done.
Do we have a phone number to call if we have a problem?
That's what I'll have it out tomorrow. The cell phone company didn't get us this cell phone issue.
Won't be on the board.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll post it on, we'll probably need to post it on the outside of the door over so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
And it'll be on your bill. The number will be on the bill also. We're buying a software program to do QuickBooks, to do this section. It's easy to customize. I did it last night.
So if you guys are going out and reading the meter, then there isn't gonna be anybody going around shutting everybody off on the 30th of the month, like was said.
If the city issues us, I mean, after we bill, and then if somebody doesn't pay,
For you.
yeah, what we'll do is, the city will still tell us what they want. If they want us to shut it off, because it hasn't been paid, we'll shut it off, but it'll be because of non-payment.
Well, if there are customers, and I'm one of them, that didn't get a bill to pay by the 30th of the month, so.
Yeah, I won't have them, I'll just have it read for
I have her read, I mean, she sent me a picture of her
the
meter.
bill, so yeah,
Yeah.
we're not gonna send anybody off the 30th, because we're not even gonna be in bill for the next week, so, for sure. Our object is to get it right, I mean, that's our goal, is we don't.
We do have some people that still haven't paid since, Mr. Crease and, Michelle done shut off last time. There's still people who haven't paid since then, those people will be shut off.
So what happens with those people's bills? Like,
I'll give those, all of it goes over to Matt.
We will, if they don't pay, and the city says shut them off, we'll shut them off. Yeah.
Now, will you, before that happens, at least check with that person? Because some people legit have not got a bill.
I still haven't got a water bill.
Yeah, I talked to several people yesterday at the Easter egg hunt that have not got a bill yet. So
Yeah.
if they say, yes, Shell, these people, what if there's a miscommunication? Will there be?
I don't know, it has to be the bills, what the bills they were talking about is bills that they've already billed like 2 months ago, right?
Almost everybody's paid their bills. There's only 18 who have not.
Okay.
And I've called those people, or they've already contacted me, or they sent, in the box, or.
Well, I know there are at least two that are not here that I spoke to yesterday out there that have not got bills. So if they've not got a bill yet, I don't think they probably, I'm just saying they may not be aware that they're, you know, if they're not on Facebook, that they don't see.
Right, no.
You know, I just didn't know.
He'll have the whole entire list, so.
I paid mine.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yours one on there. So those will be there that,
I would tell them to call us, that's the best thing. Call us and have us chase it down, or make one, I mean, it may be where we have to make them a bill, so. But they're most likely gonna get a bill because we're reading every meter. I mean, I told the guys to read every meter, so I need the meter inventory, the meter number, the size, the type, all that good stuff.
and he'll also have a list of all the people who need new meters, or the meters currently do not work, and we've still been estimating those, so.
my meter today, you all spray painted some blue on there, do you know what that means?
They may have line located it. They may have either, you know, there's two ways. One, they're going through the GPS in the system, so they can, when they hit the truck at 2 o'clock in the morning, the computer will show them where, what, even though it may be wrong, because it says it's a 2-inch, it may be a 9 or an 8 or whatever. But they're GPSing points now to start building a map that's actually interactive, so that anybody that comes over here, have 20 employees that manage shop on 10 in distribution, 10 in outside commercial. So any one of those 10 would come over here and not be the normal guy over here. They'd be able to pull the map up and see where they're at and what they're doing. Or a contractor's called in that they want to do some work in that area and he's marked it out. So, or he's checked your meter. So,
Yeah, they spray painted the top of the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if my meter was broke again or not.
It very well could be, and I cannot know yet.
Do you have an estimate of how many meters are broken?
I won't know until they read it for your file number. I know that we've already found 4, that they found 4, because we ordered 10. We don't read, or the size of the meter is here, ours is different. So we're gonna buy bushings to fit in the set. So we have to get meters out of Springfield, and I got 10, and they told me I better go get another 10, so.
We were instructed by DNR to replace all the meters because we did not have, any record of when the last time the meters had all been done.
They're old.
Yeah, they're all extremely old, so everybody eventually will get a new meter.
When we take over here, you'll get all new meters, because they'll be all electronic. We don't read meters like this. I mean, normally, we don't go to house to house to read it. I can read it from Joplin and read your meter. Like, I told this story about last time, and this one kind of freaks people out, but, what it does do is if you have a leak, or if you say, hey, my water bill's higher now, I think you guys aren't reading it. I can come out and download it onto a screen, and I can show you what water went through that meter, when, where, and how. And you find out, a lot of guys on the prostates, when they're getting up and going pee. And, I thought it was funny, but it's probably not funny for me. I told it on myself. So. But that person, we can tell when it goes, we can tell it down to, less than a pint. So, I mean, it registers really, really low.
You know how long this billing period is for?
What time?
How long the billing period for this one is for?
The document is January 28th.
Yeah, January 28th.
Maybe from January 28th.
It'll be 2 months, right?
So like $900 bill. There wasn't always
Your water's free, I pay for it.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay, we're on a rate right now by the city, and our rate's gonna change, correct? When they take over.
That's decided by the Public Service Commission. They can say that, no, you're gonna maintain the rates that they currently have until you have the next rate case.
Who says this is state?
Public Service Commission.
Public Service Commission.
That's the same people that regulate all regulated utilities.
Okay. But I thought it was something we had voted on or had approved, right? No?
The sewer bond was something that, was set. Is that what you're talking about, the sewer
No,
bond?
I'm talking about water rates.
The water rates, yeah, those were changed the last time in 2000, yeah.
Fall
2018 by,
2018.
And so but they're gonna take over and they're gonna change their water rates again.
not until the buyout's complete.
Okay, so when
Until-
when the buyout's complete, do we have any idea of what our water rates are gonna be, or?
If they put them to what ours were, on the water side, by then though, your water would go down, but the sewer would go up $5-6 a month. But I can't tell you that, because they may say, because they have to approve it. The Public Service Commission has to approve the sale. So when they look at it, they may say, well, we think that you can maintain the rates that you have. So they say, they'll keep paying that water rate, and they're gonna keep paying their sewer rate. So it would be a benefit for you to go on our water rates, it'd be cheaper, but if the commission says, just leave them the same, and you come in on your next rate case and prove why you need money and all that good stuff.
Okay.
See, when they buy it out, if they have a water rate increase, he has to go before the commission before they can even do that.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Correct.
Where now, the city can raise the rate whenever they want to.
Correct. We were under the city, that's what I'm saying. Yes, we're under the city, now we're gonna go under the commission.
And one thing that on your ordinances, that's the one thing that I hope that everybody's reading, because I saw a couple of bills that didn't look like that everything had been charged. And I think that, because there's a water service charge, there's a usage charge, there's a sewer bond, and then in the ordinance, there's a sewer charge, and then there's a usage charge. Not everybody's was like that, and that's two $18 charges for sewer, and then the usage charge.
Well, why do we have 218?
Because
that pissed me off when I got my bill.
Yeah.
I paid 57, I don't use that much water, but
Yeah.
I'm paying 57, and now all of a sudden I'm paying 67.
Because the 18 is to pay back the bond, and that's what they agreed to pay back the bond was the 18. The other 18 is to pay the power and the maintenance at the plant for the pumps, and it hasn't been enough. I'm gonna be honest with you, when I pay your debt off, our sewer rate's $58 today, flat rate, $58. So if you went on our sewer rate, it would go down. There's not enough money out of the 18 just for, the 18 going to the sewer bond, I understand that, but let's take this, what's really going to the sewer, besides the bond. You got 18 going to maintenance and operation of the sewer plant, and then the usage. It's not enough. There isn't stuff getting done. I mean, it's literally not, there's no money there. So you get the bond paid off, and I get it, but if we pay it off, we charge less interest, and I'm gonna use all of that amount to put it into the plant.
Yeah, but this 18 $18 I got on my bill.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before. I've never seen
And
it.
there's an
That's
error.
because it hasn't been charged.
There's an error.
There's an error.
It has never been charged at all since the
No,
city.
I know that.
But that should have been
So
charged.
why are we in this situation? Is that because we never did pay the sewer? Jeff?
That's one, yes.
That's one of them.
Yes.
What's number two?
Oh,
But that's, yeah, I always get that funny. That's the sewer, water and sewer report. It's, I know, and that's why it's hard for me. I really wanna, I'm used to doing this differently. I'm gonna be flat honest with you. The town of Smithton, I go there Thursday. We purchase it next week. It goes to approval. They approve. We come in, it looks like freaking mosquitoes went crazy in Mississippi, and a lot of stuff changes in a hurry. Here, I'm having to watch every dime I spend. I'm having to try to use used stuff because you don't have the money to pay me, and I don't have the money to get it back. And if you decide that, hey, guess what? We don't want the water company. I gotta try to make that bill that you owe me the least amount I possibly can. And it, like I said, just on those 3 ground pumps, I got over $10,000 or $11,000 in. So, that's what he's doing.
You want 5 or 10?
I'm good. I can't take it anyway. Dog told me no. So that's what, we'll try to get it better. We're gonna try to use the cell phone. We're gonna try to use the PO box. Bear with me. We'll get it right. I won't quit till I get it right. And if you need us, we're here 24/7. That's what we do. We come out and fix it. And if we turn somebody off an error because the wrong one, then they'll get their happy ass in their truck and get there real quick and then be apologetic. But that's not our intention. Our intention is not to make customers mad.
So who will be in charge of collecting at the PO box? Is that gonna be you? Okay,
Actually, the lady that works for me.
okay,
It'll be me and her, I guess, most of the time.
gotcha.
And the city can help me with that too, make sure it keeps everybody, we wanna make sure we're communicating, make sure we're keeping everybody happy. I gotta keep the board happy too.
Nobody has, he is the only one with the key to that PO box. That's their PO box. That is not the city's PO box. It's strictly water bill and sewer bill only.
And that's what and that auditor asked that.
That's for their auditor.
And we'll give it to the city, for deposit, and then pay the bills, that's it.
Are you gonna put a piece of tape or something over the slot so people that aren't here tonight, the people that are not here tonight?
They'll get their new bill. They'll just
They
get
can
their
do
new
it,
bill.
and they can put it in the slot until then, right?
Yeah,
Till next week.
until
So we get it
next week.
communicated.
But once everybody gets a new bill, it'll have where to send your bill. They'll say where to send it.
Please remit to PO Box.
And the new number.
PO Box 87. Sir.
For the rebate from January 28th, do you know, now, you might be able to, or next sheet, what was the last bill, the paper bill that we got, what billing cycle was that from?
That was the read from January 28th.
And so we paid that, so then their bill won't be from January 28th.
No, there's will
Yeah, the
be,
usage from January 28th.
Yeah.
Now, you're in arrears, you're always behind. So really, your January 28th was for January. The February's, where'd that go? Then now it's you're paying for March, but you are paying for the usage of February. Because it's going
and
from
he'll have
that
your
new
credit. Anybody who has credit, he'll have a copy of that.
Definitely.
So we're gonna get a bill for, let's see, 18 plus 18 plus 18 plus 18? No, just 18 and 18.
That would be for the city to decide if they want to if they want me to double bill.
I can pay it, but I know there's a lot of people in this town who do not make a lot of money who are on social
That's
security.
really good. I can't make the call.
Yeah.
And why we did what we did, Okay.
We're paying for 2 months though, right?
Yeah.
So that's not a double 18 then? That's what he's saying. So you're actually paying 36 and
The
36.
bond, you have to understand, if you do two.
But they're asking me what I'm gonna pay. In other words, we're gonna get 2 bills. They're gonna get the usage charge.
Yeah.
They're not gonna get
It changes, so.
We'll have to sit down and figure it out. To me, they're gonna have to pay bond. Because the bond's not gonna pay.
So it will be a double bill then? Because at the last meeting that was recorded, it was said that you weren't allowed to do 2 bills
in the same month.
But
We're not, the city, as a city, if we were still billing you, we couldn't send out 2 bills at a time. But when they do
So
it,
now you're just telling them to them to do it.
no, he's figuring it out just a second.
So we're gonna do the double.
Just make sure. Okay, so you got your water, customer charge, and then you got your usage
Right.
for each month. And then they got the usage. And then you got sewer.
Why'd you get
And so what they're saying is,
She was being billed that.
that's what you're saying. You got
Yeah, that's what.
I think it's disturbing the peace before meetings.
then you got March. I'm billing for March. The last time it was billed was the end of January. We're gonna get too much usage on it. It's whether you guys want to pay the customer charge.
There would be the one fee.
Yeah, but as far as.
Yeah, that's gonna be, that's the problem.
So is the city gonna, we don't have any money now, so the city's gonna eat a month's sewer bond? The city's gonna eat $1,900.
We won't be able to, because then we'll be in a, we wouldn't be able to make it.
So, but if we don't charge the people to pay it, then the city can't
Because
say
they
that.
got, I mean, it still has to get paid.
Yeah.
The
So
bond
they're
has to
gonna
get
have
paid
They're
regardless.
gonna have kind of two sewer bond charges, there's no ifs, ands, and buts.
When is that bill that you guys are discussing going out?
Okay.
Next week.
Next
It's
week?
getting ready this week for the end of March. And it'll be out
But I
for
can
the
see
first week.
just the one instead of the 18 here. But they're gonna have to have the double bond.
That's sewer bond here.
It'll
So
be
we
out.
got 218,
Two,
one.
You'll have to,
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they're gonna have to pay the double, sewer bond, the city can't eat it, and you can't eat it.
I believe we have to pay it.
okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 36.
Let's come to order here, please. Let's all come to order, okay? The bond has to be paid regardless, the $18 bond. So you'll have 2 $18 bonds on there, but you'll only have one 18 sewer customer charge. Okay, so because we have to pay that bond because we're already not able to do that, so we can't ask.
I can't.
They have to be paid, you know, that bond has to be paid, period.
I'm giving our customer, because the customer charge really is our payment. That's what we're owing for the services. We're gonna say that, because Matt Barnhart did it most of the month of February, so, and I can't get paid for obvious reasons. So, I can forgive that, but the sewer bond portion of it has to be paid, let's say I cannot pay it.
So you'll have 2 18 bonds, but not 2 18 sewer base rates.
So when does American Water start paying the bond?
We will, well, I won't have to pay it, the only thing I'll do is pay it off.
Okay.
Legally, I mean, I can tell the city, if we do it, if the citizens say, hey, we want water and sewer to go to Missouri American, part of our, because we haven't even stepped into the whole purchase agreement portion of it.
You sure you don't change your mind?
Yeah?
That's why
I'd like to plead the fifth.
that's why the bills are all being sent, the water and sewer bill, your water bill is being sent strictly to a PO box for them. Because if that's not paid, then our bond's still not gonna get paid. They still have to pay those bills. They still have to pay our electric and our bond and our outlet. But that's still our responsibility as citizens to pay that. So that, this way, they can keep, track of it, but yet they, because of audit reasons and legal reasons, it can't go straight to Missouri American Water.
Until after the.
Right, until the buyout.
Till after the sale.
So will we get a separate trash bill?
Well, we'll get to that part on the second part of they can't charge for trash, so we'll get to that on the second part of the meeting tonight. Yeah.
So you're saving $25 out of February. There you go. $25 savings. Okay.
I'll find something.
Okay.
I got it. Matt.
Rural is a threat to Missouri water. Are you familiar with that rule they're trying to change? Don't take too much time on
No,
it. I just wondered where American Water stood on that. It's a big CAFO, the biggest one in the world. They're trying to get the DNR to change the water. the underground water to read as the top water, so that this CAFO, the biggest one in the world, can raise hogs in Missouri.
Yeah,
Um,
so you know where that water goes.
yeah.
Well, it's in a distant county, it's not here, it's in a distant county, but I wondered if you had seen that and your comment on it.
This is the CAFO, our standard on it, because we're surface water and
Can we get
groundwater.
order, guys, we need order, please?
Our stance on it is, we're always gonna side with the protecting our source, which is groundwater and source water. Most of your Missourians don't get waters out of wells. Most of your Missourians get water out of Missouri, Mississippi, and, like Springfield's a surface water plant, Joplin's a surface water plant. On these,
You would be against that rule?
ours would be that it would be, the regulation on it would be the same. I would want them to have the same regulation that I have.
Right.
And they don't wanna do that. The current rule is, when it comes to sewer plants in Missouri, I just told you guys about your ammonia limits changing next year. Is your ammonia limits changed, and it's gonna take a big investment at the plant. I would want them to follow the same rules that are given to water and sewer today. And that's how we're lobbying for it.
See?
We have to protect it.
If anybody wants to read that, I've got it.
All right. Mr. Barnhart, is that all you have?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, can I get a motion for adjournment, please?
Adjournment on the closed session.
I would second.
Time 8:03.
Right.
If everybody wants to take about a 10-minute break,
Yep.
go take it, and then